Hello and welcome to a special Christmas edition of ErfDragon Art. In this video I'm going to make another attempt at the gingerbread house, but this time it's going to be the Costa Coffee coffee house. Let's roll the credits and let's go. So as I said, I'm going to be re-attempting the Costa Coffee gingerbread house. Hold on, wait. That's better. This is actually the 5th time I'm going to be attempting to do a gingerbread house. I've made numerous attempts before with various degrees of success. Hopefully this one will be the star. I've learned a lot of things from the previous ones, and I'm hoping that the lessons I've learned from those, I'll do better on here. So before I build this, let's recap on what happened. The first time I did this, I bought it with the intention of putting it together, intention of recording it and everything else, and I got bored and yeah, you get what happened. The second time I attempted it, I actually tried. I actually did try, and well, yeah, it didn't work. The third time I attempted it, I at least got something out of it. At least I got it put together. It was a mess. It looked like the house had been derelict for 5 years, but it happened. The last time I attempted it, and it actually was a previous version of this particular one, actually was quite successful. I did overuse it on one side. It wasn't a perfect finish, but it was decent enough. At least I can say I understood what I needed to do and I got it to work, and it looked okay. But today I'm hoping to really get this spot on. So do you think I can do it? Give me a thumbs up. If you don't think I can do it, give me a thumbs down. But either way, let's give it a go and see what happens. Let's do it. So here we have it, the 2022 Costa Coffee Gingerbread Coffee Shop Gingerbread House. So it's basically a gingerbread house, but it's a coffee shop. One quick thing, if Costa Coffee is watching this, it says here coffee shop, but it doesn't look like a coffee shop, it's a house. So may I suggest that you consider actually making this look like a coffee shop, not a house? Appreciate you've got the sign there, but I think somehow making it look like an actual coffee shop would be really, really cool. Just something to think about, because it looks at every other gingerbread house out there. But do take that in mind, to Costa. But anyway, let's open this box, see all the parts, and then we'll start building it. Here we go. Right, so as you can see, there's the ingredients there if you want to take a look at them. Pause the video if you wish. I don't think it's much surprise what the ingredients are going to be, but hey. Right, so now we've opened that, let's start pulling these pieces out. So the first thing we've got is obviously the icing sugar itself. So I'm just going to give it a bit of a squeeze to make sure that it comes out nice and smooth when I do it. So that's the first thing. Now I would prefer if they would put some kind of screw cap on there, so that when you're in between times you can actually screw it together. I would think that would be a really good thing. It's nice having this little top bit, but having a little screw cap to keep it all inside, just something worth considering. Then we've got some cute little stars, or snowflakes I should say. Had this last time, so it'd be interesting to see how we get those put on. Next up we've got the obligatory jelly tots, or that sort of thing. They're usually called jelly tots in the UK. I don't know what they're called in other countries, but we call them jelly tots. Then we have some of these little ball bearing-y type things in the Christmassy colours, followed by an icing sugar logo, which is the thing that goes there. And then we have this thing here, a little bit of plastic, and this is basically the stand in which you help build the house on. Now, earlier on in my video I did mention that the first time I tried this I did a terrible job. Well, first of all I didn't even make it, so that was a bad start. But the second time they didn't have something like this, as far as I remember. They might have done, but I don't recall them having this. This will be handy because it actually helps you to keep the pieces together, as you'll see later on in this video. But that's really quite an important piece to this puzzle. So we're going to pop him over there because we need space for the other parts. Then we have the main event, which is the actual parts themselves. So let's put the house back there. So this is a box of different bits and pieces. So let's open this wrapper up, and I might do it by the microphone so you get a bit of ASMR. So let's do that. So this is the ASMR part of this video, where I open up the wrapper and you get to hear all that noisy little wrapper opening up. I do hope you enjoy this. If you are a fan of ASMR, I hope you enjoy this section. Okay. Oh, that smell is nice. Oh, you should hit. I wish you could be here to smell what it smells like, but it actually smells really, really nice. Oh yeah. And just for posterity, I'm going to scrunch this thing. Here we go. Well, I hope you enjoyed that little ASMR section of this video. Always a bit of fun, and weird how that's a thing, but there you go. So here are all the parts. So I'm going to move the icing sugar over here, so I've got some space. So pop this over here. So we've got two front and back sections, and as I said earlier, they don't look like a coffee shop. They just look like a standard house that you would get anywhere, and they're not much different than any other gingerbread house out there. These are the two side walls. So these would connect on each other, those, so they're just the side walls. This is where I think they can make it into a shop. They just make this into like one big window instead of these little square windows. I think that's how it's going to become more of a coffee shop style. And then last but by no means least, the roof, or the roofs. So you've got two flat pieces of roofs, which looks like kind of little tilings on there. And that is our, let me just push you back again so that it can fit. There we go. So that is our parts for our gingerbread house. So I'm going to put something here so it doesn't make a mess on all of this trail. And we'll start building this thing. In fact, let me bring these two pieces up so you can see them. So here is all our different parts for our particular gingerbread house. So let's do it. Okay, so here we go. So we've got my little glass table. Okay, so learning lessons from the last time. What I did before is I put it together like this, put all the cream in and joined it all together, and then I tried to decorate it. I realised that was the wrong way of doing it. So what I'm going to do is going to decorate these first and then put it together once it's dry, once that first part is dried. So I'm just going to put these to one side for a minute, and then I'm going to cut this thing open and decorate. So I've got trusty scissors. Try not to cut yourself, obviously. This is again a reason why I think it should have a cap, because this would be a lot easier if I didn't have to cut the thing off. Okay, so here we go. Quite thick. Really is hard to get it to stay put. There has to be an easy way of doing this. Well, that's the first window done. Not the greatest option, not the greatest version, but we'll see if we can do better on this next one. Right, well there's our first set of windows. Not brilliant, not bad, but not great either. So let's put our little bits and pieces on it to give it that decoration, and I'll leave it over there to dry. According to this, there should be snowflakes on each corner, so we'll start there. Okay, so here's our first wall done. Not bad so far. So I'm going to shove this over the side and do the next wall. So I'm going to take this one off for a minute and just let that dry over there. All right. So now we've got two walls done. So not bad start. So, but it's got a little way to go yet. So I'll put this over the side just to let them dry for a little bit. Now let's try one of the bigger areas, which is the actual house. What I'm going to do, actually on this one I'll do the whole wall, and then the next one I'll put on the actual sign. So this bit here is going to be the trickiest part. Now there isn't an image on this one, so I'm going to put loads of these all around the edges. And this time we'll put some of these beads in. I think that's a good start, isn't it? It looks very wreath-like. Wasn't expecting that, but that's pretty good. Let's go for the first window. The other thing I'm trying to do as well is I'm trying to save enough of the icing for the roof, because the last time I did this I didn't have enough icing left on the roof, so I want to make sure that I've got enough. So that's the second set of windows done. Copy of that. So let's put some snowflakes on it. Oh, actually this one, it's saying I should put these things on, so let's put these on instead. Okay, so that's one. So not the prettiest looking, but it's a start. Whichever way you look at it, it's still better than the one I did before in the past, so. Okay, so we've got two windows done, yay! Now for the door. Okay, so we've got one of our sides done. So yeah, so far so good. So I need to put him aside and get the second one done. Okay, so this is without. Now this time on, in fact I'll tell you what, I'm going to do the doors first, and then I'm going to do this bit last. These are the straightest lines I've done so far. If I could just do it the other side, I'll be very happy. Okay, not bad. Not bad. If I compare it to this one that we did earlier, a lot neater. Definitely a lot neater. Definitely getting better. Now, let's put on the snowflakes again. Actually, not the snowflakes. It's the these beady things, isn't it? Again, looking at this, I think definitely a better looking on this side than on this side. Look a little neater. Still tasty, but neater on this side. So all I've got to do now is add the Costa Coffee bit on the top, so let's do that. So for this I'm going to put a big dollop in the middle to make sure it sticks. And here is our little sign. So ASMR time, here we go. And this little thing has little segments to snap. Oh, that's interesting. It didn't have paper before. That's a new thing. Didn't have paper on it before. So let's push this out. Here's our little sign. And that will go right here. Look at that, very nice. Let's just try and hide that. There we are. And this piece I'm going to yum down. Nom 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 nom. Let's put this to one side now, because we've got 2 more pieces left, which is the roof. This one's probably going to be the most challenging because A, I've got to do it on each of these. B, I've got to make this last until the end. So last time I was able to do one side. This time will I be able to do 2. And sorry for eating while I'm talking. I know it's a bit rude. My apologies. Anyway, let's go. Okay, not the neatest, but that's the first. 2 down. How neat is that? How cool does that look? Alright, while it's not the greatest, it's still better than previous versions I've done. Let me take a quick snapshot of this and then put these sprinkle things on it. Okay, so that's roof 1 done. So now let's do the last roof, and I'm going to even try and see if I can actually put it together. So we'll see what happens. So let's pop this down there. It's a bit different, coming out differently this time around. Don't know why. I'm going to say this, it's killing my hands having to squeeze this all the time, because this plastic is really quite tough, so it's actually hurting my hands a little bit doing this. So it'd be good if it didn't have this kind of tube, or had something better to do it on. Normally you'd do this with one of those cloth ones, but this is painful. A little bit neater. It doesn't quite look the same as the picture, but still a bit neater. So let's finish up by putting these little beads on, and then we can call this one this part a day. That's the second roof done. So all I need to do now is to try and put them all together, but let me just clear up some of this. Put this in a little bowl somewhere so I don't have to worry about it. And yeah, yeah, I'm not going to worry about this bit here. I'm not going to stress with that part there. If I can, I will, but I'm not going to go out my way with that one. But certainly that top bit, I'm putting it together because I don't know how much of this I've got left, and I want to make sure I've got enough before worrying about that. If there's enough space, then yes. Okay. Start with the far edge. In fact, if I do both edges, it would make sense, wouldn't it? Oh, it fits in. Oh, okay. I did it wrong anyway. After all that. Okay, that's one side fitted in. Right, drum roll please for this part. Wow, that actually worked for once. Let me move this. I'm going to move this box out of the way so I can bring it to the camera. It's not enough space now. Running out of space. Look at that. That actually looks pretty decent, all things considered. So last thing got to do is put this up the top, and if I've got any left over, I will make some additional decorations. Okay, this is the last thing, the jelly tots. So let's pop them on. Oh, it's falling. Why is it all falling inside? What is going on there? Oh, I see. Great. Okay. Not cool. Whoops. That wasn't cool. That was not cool at all. If all that glue got to put on there has fallen inside, because the roof was just sliding off. That was so not fair. That was so not fair at all. It was going so well until that last bit. Grrr. Right, I'm going to have to pause this for a minute because that's slipping down, which is meaning that this isn't going to work until that's dry. So I'm going to have to try and figure a way of keeping that. Alright, I'm going to have to pause for here. I'm going to hold this for a bit and then I'll come back to you once it's all dry, and then I'll put on the tops at the end, because at the moment it's deciding it doesn't want to stay put. So I'll come back to you in a minute. This was a fairly good success up until that last bit with the roof just not sticking and everything else. I've let it dry. It's not completely dry yet. There's still a little bit of areas where it's a bit loose, so I'm not going to touch it too much, but this is what it looks like so far. Now, it might not be my best effort, but it's certainly better than the previous ones I've done, so I'm happy with that. Okay, so I'm going to add an extra thing on this, which is not actually part of the kit, but it's something that I'd had planned ever since I had some remainder of some Turkish Delight box that I had. And it's this little jar of powdered sugar. And to add a bit of snow effect, I'm actually going to put some snow on it. It's going to make a bit of a mess, but let's go. Alright, I think we're pretty much done with that. So this is my final article. What do you guys think? Do you like it? Do you not like it? Do you think I could have done it better? Are there things that I could have done to make it look better? I don't know. Let me know your suggestions in the bottom. Have you ever tried doing these sort of things, and how did you manage to get it to look good? But anyway, that's this build. So I'm going to hand you back over to the studio for a closeout, and we'll take it from there. Okay, so there you have it. My 5th attempt at the gingerbread house, or in this case, coffee store, from Costa Coffee. And again, I reiterate, I'm not sponsored in any way by Costa Coffee. But this is my 5th attempt at doing this. At least this time I managed to complete it to the full, with decorations all around the actual design. Had a few disasters along the way where these windows were not quite as nice looking as they could have been. Likewise with this side here. But on the opposite side, had a bit more success with those bits and for this bit on the side as well. And as you saw with the roof, I had some issues with the roof keep sliding off. So if there's one thing I've got to learn for next time if I ever do this again, is how to keep that roof in place rather than it sliding off, because it was perfect at the beginning and then just slid off and it was disaster from that point forwards. But what do you think? Do you like this? Do you not like this? Whichever your vote thumbs up if you liked it, thumbs down if you didn't. And let me know in the comments what you think I could have done better. Could I have done something differently to make this work? Should I have tried a different technique? Is there a technique that you know that you find better? Let me know in the comments down below. And do you think I should try this again? Again, do let me know in the comments down below whether you think I should retry this. But I do have other projects, so stay tuned to the end of this video to find out what they are. But that said, a few final closing announcements. I've signed up to buymeacoffee.com. This will help me get better lighting and other equipment to make these videos much better and hopefully improve the quality of these videos. If that's something you'd like to support, feel free to do it, but there's obviously no obligation whatsoever. So I totally understand if you just want to watch the videos. Your support is appreciated regardless of whether you donate or don't donate. Secondly, I have a bricks related channel, mostly Lego but not completely. Some of it will be models and other things like that, but do feel free to go and check that out if that's something that's of interest to you. I'll put links in the description down below. And lastly, if you have enjoyed this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up. Let me know that you've enjoyed it and you want to see more of this kind of content. Be sure to hit that subscribe button if you do want to see more of these kind of videos, and turn on that notification so you don't miss the next one, especially when I do one of the alternative versions of this thing here. And I've got a few options available. Other than that, thank you very much for watching. Hope you've enjoyed this video, and until next time, I'll catch you later. Bye bye. I've signed up to buy me a coffee. It's alright. Got to do that. Oops. That was terrible acting. Let's try that again. I just looked at it and went, nah. And cut.